This is part 4 of the Black Holocaust, and we're going to talk about the medical atrocities against Yahuwah's melanated people, the tribe of Yehuda. I'm going to focus on that because historical records don't want you to know about what has happened to our people. But I'm going to be bold enough that maybe this video is going to be removed or flagged or banned. But I'm going to talk about it because no one else is. Now we know, and I'm going to say his name, Kendrick Johnson, a teenager from Valdosta, Georgia, whose body was found inside a rolled up gym mat at Lowndes High School in 2013. His body was rolled up and found in a gym mat, but when they tried to do an autopsy, he had no organs. Even though he had blunt force trauma in his face, and the autopsies which revealed his body cavity was filled with newspapers, and his organs was missing. That's just one example, and we're going to talk about many. Enslavement era, 1600s to 1865. Medicine built on enslaved bodies, grave robbing, and dissection. Medical schools in the 18th, 19th centuries regularly stole black bodies from cemeteries for autonomy classes. In some cities, resurrection men targeted black cemeteries almost exclusively. And I believe it's still happening today. What do you think they're doing with all those bodies that are unalived in Chicago? Every day. We did see a movie, Get Out. You think that was a fiction movie? Experimental surgery on enslaved women. J. Marion Sims, called the father of gynecology, performed repeated vaginal surgeries on enslaved black women without anesthesia in the 1840s and 50s. He developed techniques still used today but never asked for consent or provided pain relief. And you know what he said? He said black women don't feel pain because they're not human. And you know, I was talking to one of my doctors just a couple of days ago, and we were kind of talking about the babies that were born, about, black babies and white babies and Asians. We were just casually talking. And he said the black babies are the very strongest. The black women, the black girls are very strong. And I was just taken back from that. But he said, yeah, they're very strong-willed babies. He says, they're the Mother Earth. From them is whom we came from. Forced reproduction and breeding. Enslaved women were forced to bear children to increase a master's stock. Doctors wrote manuals on maximizing the fertility of enslaved women and treating them as livestock. Medical justification for racism. 19th century physicians promoted scientific theories that black people felt less pain, had different skulls, and were naturally suited to labor. Ideals used to defend slavery and justify non-consensual experimentation. They did say we were 3/5 of the human. And they still feel like this in 2025. I work in the medical industry. Post-emancipation to early 20th century, public health and eugenics, convict leasing and medical exploitation. Black prisoners leased to mines and farms were denied medical care, used in experiments, and died at staggering rates. Eugenics and sterilization from the early 1900s to the 1970s, state governments ran compulsory sterilization programs targeting poor Black women and Native and Latina women. North Carolina's program sterilized 7,600 people, disproportionately Black. Mississippi's infamous Mississippi epidectomy, referred to hysterectomies done on Black women without their consent. Radiation and chemical testing. In the 20th century, the U.S. military and private labs exposed Black soldiers and communities to mustard gas, LSD, and other substances in secret trials. I hope you're listening, family. Share this, repost, and scream it from them all over social media. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study, 1932-1972. U.S. Public Health Service enrolled 600 Black men in Alabama, 399 of whom had syphilis. They were told they were getting treatment, but were in fact denied penicillin after it became their standard cure in the 1940s. Doctors watched them go blind, insane, and die, and documented the progression for science. Families were never informed. This one study became a symbol of the broader pattern of medical betrayal. And guess who they put? Remember the movie? They had the white doctors, but guess who was going out recruiting these men? It was our people. A Black woman and a Black man. There's a movie, I think it was Alfred Woodard and, Larry Fishburne in it. And he was in love with this woman and she refused to be with him because she thought he had syphilis. And he went into the military and got, penicillin, and he didn't get it. He got it cured. But she didn't know that. Used our people. Ongoing exploitation in the present. Henrietta Lacks, 1951. A lot of people don't know about her, but we're going to talk about her now. Cells taken from a Black woman without consent became the HeLa cell line, the most widely used human cells in research, still generating profits for companies today. There's a story about that, and I remember, I think Oprah Winfrey played in it. I don't know why, but she's the one that played in it as the sister. Environmental racism. Black neighborhoods disproportionately cited for toxic waste, lead pipes, and industrial pollution, producing higher rates of asthma, leading poison, and cancer. Maternal mortality. Today, Black women in the U.S. die of pregnancy-related causes at nearly 3 times the rate of white women, a direct legacy of biased medical care and mistrust built by past abuses. And they're making them more easier to get abortions because they're having unprotected sex and they're not married, and it's nothing to just want to get rid of a child. There's no consequences, no accountability, and all our babies are going to a place where Yahuwah is taking care of them because they're not forgotten. Medical bias. Studies show doctors still underestimate Black patients' pain and are less likely to prescribe adequate treatment. Who they put over us? White doctors. And now they've given us Indian doctors. Now they're giving us African doctors and Asian doctors. How many African American or melanated Americans do we have? I have a melanated woman doctor, but there's not a lot of them out there. And Hitler, an American example, it's historically documented that Hitler and Nazi lawyers studied American race laws, anti-miscegenation, Jim Crow segregation, native dispossession when drafting the Nuremberg racial laws, Nazi sterilization programs, and medical experiments took cues from the U.S. eugenics movement, which has sterilized tens of thousands of black, native, and poor white Americans before the Third Reich. So while Hitler's genocides targeted Jews, Roma, disabled people, and others in Europe, the blueprint for racial laws and eugenics had precedents in the U.S. I got more to talk about. It's a damn shame.